Why do women prefer to be baby mamas than wives?
Oh, I'd rather be.
Ooh.
Why do women prefer to be baby mamas than
I would not.
wives? I'm not, this is the question for the girls. I know I really have a lot of questions for the guys.
Yeah,
Oh,
Will can't
I got.
talk. I'm
Oh no,
just kidding.
I got all the data for that, and go ahead. You guys go ahead, and I'll finish.
Yeah.
I got the data.
Why do women prefer to be baby mamas than wives? I've always, like when I
Oh,
heard Kevin Samuels mention that, I was like a little like, huh, I didn't, I didn't really think of that. Shoot, there are more baby mamas than wives. Why is that? And since, hey, there's a baby mama on here, I want to hear her perspective a little bit. Like, what makes it easier? Well, not really easier, but
I
what are
can't
your thoughts?
really. I can't really speak on like the single part. Oh wait, what do you mean like they'd rather be a single mom or just a baby mama than what?
Baby
Sorry, can you
mamas
answer?
than wives. Why would you rather be
Like,
a mother than a wife? A lot of people
oh,
would prefer to be a mother than a wife.
oh, okay. I never really. For me, it's different, but I'm gonna try to understand your question because I do see a lot of women in relationship with children. They don't really do parts as a wife. They just have the title of a mom, and
Mhm.
that's what you mean.
Yes. Why
Oh,
why
okay
do
then.
why
Okay.
women think it's easier
Um.
to just be a mother than to actually like wait till
Okay.
marriage
So,
then have a kid?
for me, what I think, because I see that all the time, and that's how I see these baby mamas end up being single because they didn't do the role as they supposed to in a relationship with the baby daddy. And I think it's also the way how they were brought up, like they don't know how to do their own chores, clean and stuff. Everything was handed to them. I actually know somebody personally. I would always tell her, you need to like help out your man. Like he's tired and stressed out. And she's like, no, I take care of the kids and I do this and that. And then one day she ended up being single and then she had to figure out how to do everything financially. And in my mindset, I'm like, you know what? Their relationship could have worked if she worked with him, not just take care of the kids, but also do the part as a spouse. Because for me, I'm so happy that my spouse, he's a hardworking man, and I will feel like crap if I don't have it held down at the house because you know what I mean. You gotta work all the time, and there's many times I worked when I was pregnant. I worked graveyard shift. I didn't want to, but I didn't want him. I even though he didn't tell me, but I knew that I wanted to do my part to help out because
Nani, I have a question.
yeah.
You're with your the father of your kids, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay. I just wanted to make sure because she kind of like placed the question like, why do baby mamas prefer to be moms over wives? But it's like sometimes like things happen, but the thing is you're still with your. He's technically like, I think he's your husband at this point because you guys are together, you guys have kids. But he just has he not popped the question yet, or you guys are waiting? Because I know some people want to wait
um
till they're older.
so it's kind of tough because he's not a citizen, and
Okay.
so long story short, I was.
Wait, before that story.
Oh, we don't have to get into that story.
All right, go ahead. Tell your story.
So for me, it was just kind of tough because I was always sheltered. But long story short, my parents always say, hey, look for a man that has a degree. Don't be with a Tongan man, this and that, blah, blah, blah. But I always realized we didn't connect because I come from a Tongan family. I'm family oriented. And the person that I was with was very sexist and very authoritative and the type that everything was handed to him. So he kind of like looked down from the background that I came from. But anyways, I kind of felt like God was giving me a sign when things didn't end well. But anyways, when I first got with my baby daddy, you know, he, I know with him, he talked to other girls and, been in different relationships, but I know that he did not commit because most of them were like hoes. They were, all those kind of stuff. But then with me, he liked that I was different, that I was smart and, I work hard. And I wasn't the type that expect the man to pay things for me. But anyways, um, so when I found out I was pregnant, probably like a year, almost like 2 years, like a year and a half, I didn't want to be like most polys where they get married because they have babies, because I look at that, special, like marriage is sacred and stuff. But it was just really tough because I wasn't only looking at, oh, we're in love, but I also look at like how different our families are, because a lot of them bullied me because I was different. I'm light skinned, and they say I'm not Tongan enough, and it's just a lot of stuff. And then so that's the answer to that question.
You're in the very minority of that stuff. At least you're allowing your spouse and the father of your children to be there and stuff like that. Because not a lot of women like want their kids to see their father, but then like still expect them to be like, well, you still got to pay child support, you got to do this. I'm like, then how come you're not giving them the opportunity to build a relationship? And like, why would you rather have to be in separate houses? Why can't you just, be back together and put your relationship aside? Because, once a child is born, your needs are out the fucking window. So like, why not focus on like your own needs first, then your spouse's needs, and then add the children to it? That was like another, that was another part of my question. Just be like, why rush so quickly? And then like, once that baby comes in, you're just like, well, fuck. We got to work together for this shit, but yet we don't like each other. What are we supposed to do? It's like you won't be able to escape from each other. You just be stuck. And that's where like a lot of women, like nowadays, especially being baby mamas, like they're just stuck with this resentment toward the father of their kids. It's just be like, why did you decide to do it? That means like you can't escape from him. You can't. But then with you, it's just like I said, extremely minority that like you guys are still in good terms and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then like, are y'all technically together still?
We're still together. We're just not married.
Okay.
Yeah. They're boyfriend and girlfriend, right? That's what I
Yes.
boyfriend and girlfriend live together, but he's not your husband by law just yet.
Okay. I'm gonna say, if you want to marry, he could have been naturalized. My mom.
It's a long story to that. He's been here for 10 years. But that's, and not like that. I had a lot of anxiety, and because I was actually bullied a lot by polys, so honestly, when I became a mom, it just made me come out of my shelter. And but
hey, it takes one significant event to wake the fuck up.
With
my role reversal, it took me that long to freaking finally realize that like a lot of I have way more respect for men and shit like that.
And also seeing how my parents they cared for each other and stuff, but there's just some things that I saw that I wish I knew my mom could do better. They were just married. I know it's because they work good together, but I wish she had the affection, and some of the respect. Like I felt like every time she talked to my dad, she was talking to a wall. Like little things like that matters. So I realized growing up, when it comes to like seriousness in relationship or marriage and stuff, it's not like hurry up type of thing. And I remember talking to Will about this. Will was saying that in our culture, most people just married just to marry, and I'm like, that is so true, because that's how I thought the same thing when it came to marriage. And a majority of the people got married because they got kids, right?
Yeah.
And so they married today and divorced tomorrow. And for me, I don't look at that, but that's just my perception on how I looked at it back then, but yeah.
Okay.
And I never shared that I have anxiety and all that stuff.
No, it's okay. I mean, you're upfront about it, you're honest about it. Shit, I'm just taking it in, because I want to actually hear from like that type of perspective. Rather than like just listening to whatever shit I see on TV. I want to actually like hear.
Yeah.
All right. Monserrat, did you want to respond to her question?
No.
All right, so it's my turn.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Go. No, so I know Deja's question. Your question was like, why do a lot of women today choose to be single moms and then choose then wives, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think one of the major problems starts with the household. I don't know if you guys see it. A majority of the girls who are single moms, a majority of them come from single mom families. Like they were raised by single mom. So a lot of times when you remove the man out of the household, the masculine figure, a lot of women, what a man does to a child is gives them that stability, that they don't have to look for that love anywhere else because they have that love at home. If you don't have the masculine figure in the house to feel secure, to feel loved, then of course a lot of girls out there will go out there be more sexually active, and that's why a lot of them have sex early, and then that's why a lot of them get pregnant early. Especially, and of course, you want to use the culture today. We live in a culture today where they're pushing women to have sex with no repercussions, right? Have sex, be free with your body. And so a lot of women today having sex early. And then when you have sex early, you have tendency to get pregnant, all right? And you have tendency to get pregnant, you become a single mom. And then that cycle repeats, right? And of course, if a lot of single moms, you guys see it, a lot of single moms, they talk ill about men. They talk ill about their fathers to their daughters. They make the girls hate men. So a lot of the women who are single moms, they end up become masculine themselves, and they become very unapproachable, and they don't want to come allow a man to come take care of them. So I do notice for a lot of guys is when you meet single moms, they're more difficult than meeting a girl that came from a normal household. So that's one of the things I do see with a lot of single moms out there is they were raised by a single mom, so they never had that father figure around. We live in a culture today where they're pushing a lot of women to have sex early. A lot of girls are having sex early, and then they get pregnant early. And then, of course, if you get pregnant early, a lot of guys, like I said, they don't want to date. For a lot of guys, they don't want to date a girl that already has children. Most guys want their own children. They don't want to raise another man's child.
That's a liability.
Yeah, there's a liability. So for a lot of men, there are men that can do it. Hey, shout out to all those men that are willing to do that. But if you ask a single guy that's never had kids, do you want to date a single mom, or do you want to have your own family of your own with a girl that's never had kids? Most guys would choose, I just want to go with the girl that doesn't have kids and have my own family and don't have to have the liability of taking care of another man's child. So that's why a lot of girls today are single moms and not choosing to be wives, because like I said, they've been taught by their mom that their dad ain't shit, the dad's a bum, don't trust no guys. So they have a toxic relationship towards men. And like I said, they have that hate and they never heal from that growing up. And that's why a lot of them end up repeating the cycle that their mom went through. Instead of healing and allowing a healthy man to come love you and protect you, provide for you, and just be natural in your role. But a lot of like I said, I've seen it all the time where single moms, like, yeah, they make it so hard for guys because they haven't healed from the guy that abandoned them, either from their past relationship or from their healing from their dad that wasn't around in their life in the beginning of their childhood. Yeah. That's my answer to that.
Yeah. No, there you go.
But like I said, shout out to single moms. I do respect single moms. It's tough, to raise children on their own. That's respectable. But I do see that if you look at the numbers statistically in America, if you grew up with a single mom, for girls, there's a high probability that they're gonna end up pregnant early. There's a high probability for them being a single mom also, if you remove the father out of the household. And so that's why it's so important to make sure that we can, hopefully, we have more conversations like this. But I do want to make sure we can bring people together. But there's also, if you add the feminist movement, independency. I don't need a man, right? They're telling women you don't need a man. So a lot of girls too grow up like, I don't need a man, and then they complain why no guy wants to come around. You told me I don't need a man. Shoot, all right.
They need a woman.
I mean, that's where I don't need a man.
All I got in my video games. It's lonely.
It's lonely. But you said I don't need a man, but now you're complaining when no man comes. But you literally just said I don't need a man. But that's the feminism for you, modern day feminism. But
how else did I get this couch in? I didn't lift this. I asked men
exactly.
to help me. I have this heavy ass fucking coffee table. I didn't lift this. Two guys helped me.
That's false. Like you said, you do everything on your own. You don't need them now. Like shit. There's things that I would never say I don't need a woman. I would never say that. And as confident as I am, there's things I can do, but there's also things that women can only do for me that I can't do for myself. So, but that's the thing. That's the culture today in modern day in America, that we're teaching people to be independent instead of teaching people to be interdependent, to rely on one another, right? And a lot of people go into relationships just thinking about themselves. All they care about themselves instead of thinking about the other person. Right. Yeah, it's I. I've dated people before all they talk about themselves. For me, when I go in a
That's very
relationship,
true.
when I go into a relationship with myself, I'm not even thinking about myself. I'm thinking about what can I do for them, right? And of course, if I'm with the right person, they would do the same for me.
I had
Right.
the mentality before of if he wanted to, he would. You know how everybody now
Exactly.
is saying
That's
if he wanted
fact.
to, he would. But honestly, like that's so like that's such an ill mentality because you don't know what the person is going through. You know, like
no, but that's understandable. But for a lot of people also don't show that, right?
It's
mhm.
also
If you-
up to them to open up to their partner
Yeah.
and develop that trust within one another. You can't just close yourself off and expect them to mind read what the fuck is bothering.
Exactly. Yeah, like
Mhm.
like there's a lot of men and women do that today. It's like they'll wait for them to make the first move. No, if you care about the person, you don't wait to make the move. You just do it. You know
That's
what
why
I'm
you
saying?
don't say like, "Are you
Yeah.
okay? Yeah, I'm fine." But I just
Right.
find it funny how, yeah, you can't be doing that shit. A
No,
guy
I'm-
would rather have a woman be honest and upfront rather
know,
than try to play
yeah.
the fucking guessing game and shit.
I'm not gonna guess what if I'm with a girl. I'm not gonna guess what she wants. I'm gonna love her everything I can, and then if she reciprocates it, great. If she doesn't reciprocate, that lets me know that this is not what the one for me. But I'm not gonna, like I said, just like I'm gonna not wait for her to show me kindness for me to be kind. I'm not gonna wait for her to be vulnerable for me to be vulnerable. If I know that's something I'm supposed to do as a man, because I know that's what she needs as a woman, I will do that without her asking. And then, but the key is reciprocation. If they don't, if they're the right person with you, they're reciprocating. Like I said, if he would do it, he would do it already, right? If he doesn't do it, then that shows you his intention. You just keep him moving and find and attract a better person.